Oh man, it has been a while and I've missed talking to you guys, man. I've only posted like 2 news videos in the last 2 months, so I apologize. But by the way, this first gameplay is dedicated to my dog Trey Magnum, who on TikTok posted beating me with 18,000 likes over 100k views, but didn't show our second game. So that's what this first gameplay is for. Now look guys, I've been playing a lot of 2K recently, and every time I tell you something big is coming, it's real, okay? So just turn on those noties. It's gonna get crazy. I got a big project coming on the way, probably in about a week from now, all right? But let's hop into it, okay? It's been a minute. I miss y'all, man. I really do. Anyway, Dignify said, maybe I'm the worst player of all time, but I've never missed so many threes with a 97 three-point rating. Now this has kind of started a discussion in the 2K community with a bunch of people like Dimework also saying, just made a 99 midi, 99 3 guard and had the worst shooting night of my 2K career. Now I don't know what it is with this play style. Maybe that's what it is, where you make something that has high shooting and you just shoot more shots. You also think that you can hit more contested, something like that, but I myself as well kind of shoot worse on a 99 3 than I do with like my 83 3-point Wimby that you're watching in this gameplay as I just shot over those. Now look, I even got a comment last night on the Wimby video and this guy said, this makes 0 sense. I have a 6'6", 3 level, 92 midi, 87 3, and he can't make shots this Wimby build can with a 53 pointer. I'm hitting more threes, never missed with this jump shot in the video, and I don't have any VC in my 3-point shot. I've never even enjoyed centers in 2K as I have as much in 2K25. This specific build does. He's saying like he can shoot better on that. And also in my 63-point video that I just posted recently, where I had an 89 mid-range and a 63-point, a lot of the comments were saying the same thing. They were like, hey, I shoot better on my lower 3-point build than my 99. Or I shoot around the same. It's a very odd phenomenon. I think that rhythm shooting might honestly give you like pretty close to the same ratings as long as you're timing it correctly with the rhythm shooting. That might be what it is. I don't think X button shooting or square button shooting is the same. Now Dignify said, I have high risk reward on and I just hit 2 whites, one being a late timing tempo pushing and one a late tempo in the same game. The game is broken. I've only hit a few whites this year while rhythm shooting on high risk, but I did actually just hit one recently. And I gotta say, man, it is, again, 2K adding in these shot timing profiles and making people have the high risk layup timing on if you want to have the best efficiency while also having to time every single one of them right to get that best percentage. Also having real player percentage, which goes in a lot, is crazy to me. Like, I can't even tell you guys, I'm so frustrated even just thinking about it, how many people have been smacking those real player percentage layups. And once again, I don't even blame you if you have it on because it's that good. Like, yes, high risk has been proven now after the patches to be like, what was it, 10-15% better, but that's only if you time it right, like every time, so I don't know what's going on with 2K, but something a lot of people don't remember. Black Cobra posted this right here. We need this back, man. 2K11 had it right in this regard. And as you see, you could change your spin jumper to the left, spin jumper to the right, step back jumper to the right. I mean, I know a lot of people didn't play back in 2K11. Okay, my first one was 2K9, so I wasn't that deep in it at that point. So I don't necessarily remember the small details like that, but I'm glad he brought that back because you could actually have more customization on NBA 2K11 than 2K25. Is that not crazy? I mean, we have regressed in a lot of areas. We've, obviously went up in a lot of areas, but gameplay and customizations and things like that have also not really. Anyway, that's leading into my topics, what I'm trying to say. This video got 230,000 views and it hasn't even been 2 weeks. It's been 13 days. It is called Are NBA 2K's graphics getting worse? 229,000 views. He's comparing 2K14 with 2K25. Now, if you guys aren't deep into the 2K community, if you are, you know exactly what I'm about to say, but like this conversation has actually came up many times in the last few years with 22, 23, 24, and the most specific thing they go into with the graphics is the lighting. The lighting in 2K14, 15, things like that were amazing. And somehow 2K has really gone backwards. The jersey, how they move on the player. If you guys go watch that video, man, make sure to say, from Badge Plug or something like that. But go check it out after this. I'm telling you, he shows a lot of side-by-sides, and it's going to be mind-blowing to you. It's really going to be like, wow, I can't believe that. I really can't believe that 2K14 you guys might think it looks better or even close. And, you know, we've jumped up a whole 2 consoles, I think, since that game. So anyway, as you all see, man, I want to talk about this. It's a little bit, you know, take it with a grain of salt, right? But you see, CBK report said EA and 2K are reportedly in talks to bring back a college basketball video game. That's crazy. Now that's a lot to just, whoa, hold on. We might have another basketball game. I mean, we all know what happened with NBA Live, and we all know the story, you know, with 2K getting better in the gameplay. The majority of players think that, at least, and that's why they stopped buying NBA Live. And it's unfortunate that we probably, I don't know if we'll ever get another NBA Live. I started a petition, for those of you that don't know, a few years ago, for NBA Live to come back. I think it was a few thousand people to sign it. Some people were donating money, although I said, please don't donate money. People care. There is definitely a big side of the community of basketball players, people that don't play 2K anymore, that want a basketball game, that would literally buy NBA Live or just another simulation basketball game, not arcade, you know, like NBA Street or something like that. We're just talking about NBA simulation, just because of the state of 2K, you know, the microtransactions and the people that are unhappy with how the game is right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you guys to understand that I actually love 2K25, but at the same time, I hate it. It's the biggest love-hate relationship I think I have with any 2K ever. I mean, there's so many cool, good things, especially like outside of gameplay, like the Cat Breakers I thought was a really good idea. I'm not sure about how insanely hard it is to hit Legend 1. I have a friend who has like 45 days played. He plays with streamers. His name is Magic. You guys may know him. So basically, every time he's playing these double level events and he's getting back-to-back games, like the game ends, he gets another game. And he's still not Legend 1 with like 45 days played. He's like Veteran 5. So that should show you, I mean, we are, what, almost 4 months into the game being out, 5 months? He's still not Legend 1 to get that third set of Cat Breakers. How insane it is just to hit Legend 1. There's still 2, 3, 4, 5, and of course that Legend 1 to 5 is harder than Veteran 1 to 5. So anyway, I just wanted to list that for you guys, but let's hop into this right here, man, because we need to talk about this topic more. This guy said, multiple sources have told me that both EA and Take-Two have had continued internal conversations about a college basketball game. Unknown how far along talks are, but there are groups within both companies pushing heavily for it. Once again, guys, please, if you see anyone being like, oh, Badge Plug saying that this video game's coming out, take it with a grain of salt. I have no clue the credibility between these guys and stuff like that, but I've seen multiple different pages talk about it, and it seems sort of, kind of official, you know what I'm saying? So just, and not saying something's coming out, but we obviously have to look at something like this because that's huge. Look at what College Football 25 did. It didn't come out for, what, 11 years? And then you see the success of that game. It's the most successful college football game ever by far, and they're still getting copies sold to this day. That's very impressive. So obviously, I mean, I would guess that a lot of companies, maybe even including 2K, EA Sports, things like that, are looking at it like, college basketball, there's something here. You know, there is definitely some money to be made, because that's what it is at the end of the day, guys. We're talking about money here. Can lots of money be made? You know 2K is interested in that, so we'll see, okay? But anyway, the last thing I think on this was, I was thinking about the licensing cost for players if it ever gets that far. College Football 25 has 134 schools with 85 players per school at $600 per player. That's $6.8 million. For SMGs, if the same $600 is given to 15 players on each of the 352 D1 teams, that's only $3.19 million. So $3 million, or, you know, let's say they even double that, $6 million, give everybody $1,200, whatever it is. That is nothing, guys. I'm talking about, to these companies, that is minuscule amounts of money. So, I mean, I think that there's a lot of money to be made. I don't know if 2K is going to jump on it. I don't know if EA is going to jump on it. Maybe we'll see another company, another video game company jump in the basketball space. There's a lot of room right there, and maybe there's some loopholes as well where they can kind of copy 2K. Like, You know, that's been the big problem for years now. If you guys didn't know, that's the reason why we're not getting another basketball game, because it's so expensive to get the license to use the NBA jerseys, the names, LeBron, you know, things like that. You have to buy, I think it's over $1 billion now to have the license for a few years. So technically 2K doesn't have a monopoly, which means they're the only, like they are the only basketball game in the space, right? They're the only one right now making basketball games. So it's kind of, you know, a lot of people would say it's a monopoly, but that would only be true if 2K had like the license purchased only for them from the NBA. You know, it's possible. If you want to go buy it, you can. However, it's going to cost you a B. You know what I'm saying? So maybe someone can jump in there and have a part game centered around college basketball or something like that, and have a My Team around that. You know, have old college players in the My Team. I mean, because it works amazing for college football. And by the way, this picture right here was from Brutal Sim of another basketball game being made. This is an arcade type of game. This is not what they were talking about in the previous tweets, but I just wanted to show you guys kind of just the first look of the graphics of that. That's not really what I want, okay? You know, I don't really want like an NBA Street or NBA Jam. You guys know my feelings on realism versus arcade, blah, 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 and, you know, hyper realism. I'm against hyper realism in some areas, okay? Like I've said a million times before, if we had a scale up to 10 points and we could use realism and arcade in there, I'm going to put about 7 points into realism, 3 points into arcade, okay? Let's give an example. In the lighting in park, that's what 2K has had for a few years now, where it's dark and sometimes there's light in the park and then there's some dark patches and you can't see your jump shot and things like that. That's their quote-unquote realistic lighting, you know? And I've said for a few years now that they should change that. Or at least, because when I post it, 95% of people agree that they don't like it. Just give us an option to turn it off. I'm not even saying, because, you know, there's some people that I guess like that. Just give us an option to turn it off. But that's an example of hyper realism, or RNG. You could go into RNG about hyper realism, which we're about to talk about. But speaking of RNG and shooting and stuff, man, we're getting into it good today. You can tell it's been a while since we did these news videos, because we are flowing, okay? Drop a like for me if you guys haven't yet, if you made it this far, and comment down below, flow plug. But anyway, people were talking about, you know, earlier in the year, the paddles on the back of the Xbox controller, and it's game breaking, guys. It's glitchy. It's like having a Zen. And then most of us have now figured out over the past few months, or at least most of us figured out in like the first week or two, it was very overhyped, okay? If you shoot better with the paddles, you shoot better. But it's no glitch. It's no Zen. I tried it in the Victor Wembanyama 60 to 99 no money spent. I showed you guys the footage of me trying it. I shot worse with the paddles. Now, button mapping has been a thing for a very long time, guys. Like, just because it's kind of new to the 2K community doesn't mean that it's some sort of brand new glitch and, oh, Xbox has this big advantage. I promise you, there's no crazy advantage, at least from what I've tried. Now, there's a new thing that we're about to talk about, but I'm telling you guys, the paddles is nothing crazy. In Call of Duty, for a very long time now, people have button mapped their controllers. For example, you click the right stick in to crouch. I changed mine to LB. It's very weird. So for me to jump, it was A. I changed mine to LB. So I actually use what's called bumper jumper tactical, okay? Instead of playing claw. I'm not going to go deep into it, but basically it's easier to jump shot, which is like the meta of Call of Duty, you know, to jump and shoot someone at the same time, but it's harder to do it if you hit A. So I changed my button mapping to jumping with LB. People have scuff controllers where they jump with the paddles on the back of their controller. And yes, it can give you a sort of advantage if you're better at doing that, if you learn how to do it, but it's no glitch. It's no game-breaking method, especially when you can just literally go into the controls and use bumper and jumper tactical like I have for years. I used to play claw, but bumper jumper tactical saved my life. Okay, I'm going to stop saying that, guys. I'm going to stop because that's just, it flows nice, but I'm going to stop saying it. Anyway, this whole glitch came out and All City reported on this. It was like a TikTok. I'm going to show you guys right over here. Use the D-pad to adjust your stick, and this guy's like moving the sensitivity curve to instant and the calculation to radical and the assignment to primary, and it's, oh my god, guys, look, there's a graph and it's saying sensitivity curve. Relax, okay? relax. I feel like a lot of things come out in the 2K community and people instantly, because I know, especially with these paddles earlier in the year, they jumped on it. They're like, oh, that's why I'm not a good shooter and Xbox has this big advantage over me. Bro, no, just learn how to play the game correctly. Learn IQ. Study the game of basketball, okay? Learn how to shoot. Learn when to drive, when to pass. Learn your shot. You're going to be good at the game. You don't got to worry about all these little things people are doing and changing the radical and the curve and the graph, and just learn basketball. Trust me, you'll be okay. A lot of people don't get better at the game because they never step outside the meta. So the meta is making them win more games more consistently. However, there's lots in their game that's being left behind. And what I mean by that is when you don't play as much meta, like if you play in an off-meta build, you kind of have to make up for not being in the meta. You know what I'm saying? You got to get more stops. You got to rotate on defense. You got to play differently on offense. That's going to teach you things. It's going to teach you how to score in different ways. You see what I'm saying? That's why people don't get better over the years, okay? Because they just want to hop on the best way to win and they don't really learn how to play the game, okay? Anyway, Chalk, he made a really big tweet here about shooting. Can someone explain why 2K waits until January to make their game good? 2K24 shooting slump was OD and people could hardly shoot wide open. By January, people were smacking reds and having fun. 2K25, the game won't allow you to make multiple shots in a row. By January, RNG is removed and people can make timed jumpers again. They kill off all the initial momentum from the game releasing by making it virtually unplayable in the beginning. This guy said, wait, no more RNG, is 2K back? Haven't loaded up in 2 months, but I might. And he said, been out now for about 2 weeks. Now that was on January 17th. You guys know I'm a little behind on these news videos. Like I said, I apologize, okay? I recently got married. I'm doing something big right here. You know, we were in Hawaii on the honeymoon. It was great. And you know, things have been going good, okay? I've been posting some content that I really enjoyed posting. Unfortunately, I couldn't really get people to care about the Wimby stuff that much, although it's my favorite thing to do on the game. I pushed it a little too far. People just didn't really care. I still love it, but you know, that's just how it is, okay? People really, it's another thing back to the meta, right? Like people don't want to learn how to dribble on a 6'10 plus build because it's hard. They want a meta build and how to learn how to LT decks and 99-3, run around and fade with the mid-range. That's just what it is, okay? That's just how it is these days. But anyway, Chalk said, told y'all there was no more RNG in 2K, where he goes 16 for 16, 10 for 10 from 3. And that was like, you know, a week later that he posted that screenshot. People were like, oh, you waited a week to post it and blah, blah, blah. Now, here's where it gets interesting because I think in our last news video, we talked about 2K Toots in the MyCourt offline servers, okay, testing out if RNG was in the game, and he said from his test that there's no RNG in the game. That was the first test in, I think, early January was when it came out, of the entire year between 2K Labs and 2K Toots, saying that there was no RNG in the game. That's interesting, right? There was not a single test. Many tests came out, but we didn't see any evidence like that. Now, keep in mind, we all were like, at least a lot of people, including me, were like, okay, Toots, like, you know, I usually agree with a lot of your tests, but it was offline in MyCourt, okay? I can literally go in MyCourt right now, brand new build, 45 three-pointer, whatever the jump shot is, default big, I can be on a 7'3", and go, you know, 5 for 10, 4 for 10 from 3. It's on Super Rookie in there, okay? But anyway, Chalk is saying in Pro-Am, where it's Hall of Fame difficulty, that it's not there anymore. Anyway, on top of that, 2K Labs posted a shifty shooter test, and you see there's a 100% make percentage with Legend, shifty shooter, Hall of Fame, you know, gold's close, silver's close. And here's where it gets even more interesting about this entire thing is, as you all see, the green window on the edge gives you a 35% boost to Legend, 28% Hall of Fame, 24% gold, and so on and so forth. They said this was for 3-point fadeaways, guys. So, Toots test aside, right? We've not seen a single proven RNGs out of the game for standing still shots or anything. But there's a pure green window on moving 3-pointers. Like, see, this is where I have to kind of get into my old head bag and tell y'all, like, what's like, bro, we're Mike Wang, like, we're having a pure green window on moving three-pointers, the hardest shot in the game, in the NBA, but not standing still shots. That's just crazy. Run and fade. Like, I told y'all, it seems like the game in the meta, right, in the actual meta of the game, again, is 2K23. In 2K23, there's no reason to stop and shoot. Quick stops are horrible. You might as well just run and fade. I mean, Mike Wang, what are we doing here, bro? I don't know. Anyway, you see the last test, it just shows you the center window. There is a 100% green window with legend shifty shooter and Hall of Fame shifty shooter. Gold is a 97 if you tap that spot right there in the perfect amount of the green window. But it's like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. But anyway, speaking about shooting and stuff like that, something we haven't talked about in a while is cheating. Anyway, this guy said, wait, hold on. Zins are back in 2K25 and Splash, $250,000 My Team tournament winner, 2K League professional. He said, Zin's been since the 4th day. There's a no meter script now. So I'm guessing there wasn't earlier. That's why I said no point in trying to make the game to nerf regular people and stop cheaters. Just invest in an anti-cheat. Cheaters will find a way to cheat. Adding RNG didn't help. I mean, I've seen it so many times where people are like, oh, 2K added RNG to stop the cheaters. Bro, the cheaters found their way around that a long time ago. In the area where 95% of players play, you can use a meter. And apparently now there's a no meter script. So that's just great. That's just amazing that there's a no meter script. So now I can't even shoot my rhythm shots and be like, hey, you guys can't say I'm cheating because there's no meter on. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that, because now just people are going to have to speculate. And you know how it is with people and content creators. They're always, like I told you earlier, no matter what. I could literally show you a hand cam, like I have done before, with a 45 three-pointer last year, or was it 50, something like that. And they're still going to cope about it, bro. They're still going to just find a way to make an excuse. But anyway, this guy said anti-cheat won't work in this case, the same reason why COD is having an issue. He said 2K can figure out a way to weed out cheaters. They literally have specific games for devs that are so advanced you can tell the millisecond you're releasing the shot every time you do it. They can also log into dudes' games and a bunch of other stuff they can do. Don't give a F though. They don't care, right? So Splash obviously knows something deeper that most of us don't know about, that there's a no rhythm script now, no meter rhythm script, and that 2K could actually go in there. So I thought about it, okay? Okay, guys, I sat there and I said, why does 2K have this technology, apparently, but they don't use it? Okay, remember last year we did we looked into the 2K, what is it, the Zen Discord. We interviewed a guy, right? Remember we did the interview and the guy said that there's about approximately 5,000 people on 2K25 or 2K24 that are cheating. They're paying like $70 a month to be able to time their shot. You have to pay to get it installed. You have to buy Elgato if you don't have Elgato. You have to find this secret Discord. I mean, so many steps, right? So I'm thinking, why? So it's probably more now. Let's say 10,000 people are cheating. Why would 2K not ban these people if they have the technology, if they have the ability to do that? And then it clicked in my head. If 10,000 people are doing that and they're doing all these steps, right? Most of these guys are buying computers. They didn't even have a computer. They're buying an Elgato so it can record their screen or whatever the hell the freaking technology does, and all this stuff. They're paying for it to get set up. They're paying the monthly fee every month. And it's because these guys are using disposable income, however they get it. I'm not saying that they have a lot of money or they're rich, every single person that's doing it, but these guys are obviously spenders. I mean, if you're spending money like that to play 2K, to time your shot for you, to cheat, you probably, I would say on average, they're spending much more money than the average person. You know what I'm saying? They're getting all their Gatorade every game. They probably have 15 builds. You guys watching this might have 15 builds, but I'm saying like those guys on average that are cheating are going to be big spenders of the game. So 2K is not going to ban them because they're going to keep spending money. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? That's at least my guess if they really can ban these people. Now, this guy, he said, y'all blaming content creators, blame it on 2K for the game being so expensive that people run to YouTube because they don't want to mess up a build or just experiment. It's $100 per build. If you don't have what's best, you're going to lose majority of the time. Now, like I've told you guys and showed you guys, you know, like my no money spent Wimby, I had like a 91%. My Kobe no money spent. And I had close to a 90 win percent. Obviously, I've got good teammates and stuff, but still, I'm having to win out there with a low overall player, and I'm at a big disadvantage. And I've showed you guys all the time me playing off meta and still winning consistently. Most people can't do that, okay? Most people cannot do that. They don't play enough. They don't learn. They don't want to learn the game, blah, blah, blah. But the big thing is, and we can always trace almost everything back to microtransactions, okay? We can always microtransactions. I see so many people complaining about the state of the game because, oh, a 2K creator posts this and a 2K creator posts that. I promise you the game would have so much more variety if builds weren't so expensive. Okay, if builds were 10, 20 bucks, people would definitely be making more non-meta builds. I honestly, as much as I want to blame someone, if they're only making 1 or 2 builds, like, you know, if I was a casual player, I might be looking up the best build. I want to see someone that has a lot of time played in the game, knows what they're doing, and will make a build for me, okay? So I can go out there and just play. I don't want to lab this and go to 2K Labs and look up the percentages of every badge when the guy that's posting the video knows most of that stuff already. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just how it is. Like, well, if I get on Call of Duty, I am a casual on Call of Duty these days. If I was to get on Call of Duty right now, I haven't played in like 2 months, I'm going to look up some of the best classes, some of the best perks, some of the best attachments to put on my gun because I don't play the game. Okay, I don't play the game. So I'm going to go on there and I'm going to get everything ready so I can have some sort of, you know, because imagine you're playing and you're using all the wrong attachments and stuff while playing people that play the game a lot. Now you're at even more of a disadvantage, you know, so it's hard to blame people. But anyway, I was on a legend account, guys. You guys know I've made some content on Enzo's account. He has the legend level wheel spin. Okay, so you have your rookie to starter, your veteran wheel spin, then your legend category where you're supposed to get crazy rewards. You know, you're supposed to get good rewards off these wheel spins. On his account, I got a banner. I got a Knicks banner. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm a Knicks fan, so if I got that on my account, I would have been happy. And by the way, it was not animated. But still, getting a banner is crazy, and especially not animated. Like, come on, it could have at least been animated. But anyway, Keysticks, who has the legend tier wheel spin, as you guys see right here, he got unlimited skill boost, although he already had unlimited skill boost from one of the events. So it's possible to get good stuff. But that's another thing we need to talk about with the wheel spin is the fact that so many times this year I've spun that wheel and I'll get a banner that I've already got off the wheel. I'll get a ball. I'll get a green light animation I've already got. 2K, there is absolutely no way that you have not changed it to where you can get the same thing. You can get dupes, which is duplicates in 2K. Now, in some other games, in some other modes, if you get a duplicate of something, it's usually not the biggest deal. At least you can get something by selling that duplicate. You can't sell a banner. You can't sell a green light animation or a release, whatever it's called. You know, in 2K, you're just screwed, which is crazy, bro. It's like there's so many little things that you can nitpick at. And then there's big things with 2K, you know, critiquing it and stuff like that. But Cole the Man, he said, it's insane how everything about 2K25 is pretty good except the gameplay. 2K24's gameplay was heading in such a great direction. I wish 2K would have just built off 2K24 going into 2K25. Now that got a lot of likes, it got a lot of discussion. Some people were saying, yes, it is actually built off 2K24. You guys let me know how you feel if you want to chime in on that, but I'm actually going to, hold on, remember this, okay? Because, you know, I'm just non-biased, okay? If there's news out there that's bad, I'm going to talk about news that's bad. If there's news out there that's good, I'm going to talk about good news. But let's just hop into it, okay? 2K gave Duke Dennis and other content creators their face scan, okay? So he has his real face in the game. And Duke, in his video, said it was like 2 years ago he got his face scanned, and they just now put it in the game. But, like, at least they're doing something decent. Now, once again, we can go back to that topic where 2K doesn't really mess with you until you really blow up. Like, until you blow up and you're about to leave the 2K community, or you already have. You know what I'm saying? So, Even there's got to be a backhanded compliment to that. 2K, congrats. Lowercase W on that. Shout out to Duke. Now, this dude said, we want to do blink, but we're not allowed. His Watson says he has spoken to Apex Legend devs and claims upper management is suppressing the developers who want to make changes. Now, you might be like, what does that have to do with 2K? I've told you guys many times that it's possible that that's something happening with 2K. The developers are under pressure to make the game, to make microtransactions, or whatever it is, how the people above them, their bosses, want the game to be. So every time I see someone blame developers, and sometimes I blame developers, I gotta also think like, or say, it might not be their fault. It might be someone over their shoulder saying, look, you wanna keep this job, buddy? You're gonna make it like this, okay? And then that's tough for people because they got families and stuff like that. Now, All City, he said, we should be able to reset / reallocate our cap breakers. Oftentimes, our players' abilities are changed through patches and hot fixes. Don't you think it's only right for us to have some control over adjusting the attributes we worked for? Think it would be a kind gesture at NBA 2K. But I mean, obviously, like, yeah, All City is spitting right there. Yes, we should have that, but again, it's another thing that we just don't have. Maybe they'll add it into next year's game, but it's like these little things are big things, and the big things can be little things to some people, but there's a lot missing. It's like going back to that picture from Black Cobra earlier where you were able to change your spin jumper animation going left versus right. You know, like, there's so many little things that just aren't there because the big bucks are in the microtransactions, you know? So anyway, Joey went to Twitter and he said two-way tenacity over heat check. And a lot of people were agreeing with him, saying that two-way tenacity is better than heat check. Now, I know not everybody has heat check yet. Maybe you've seen some videos on it, and a lot of content creators are, of course, going to over-exaggerate usually about it. But I have heat check, and I'll tell you guys, it's terrible. It's like, okay, so to get heat check, you got to make 3 shots in a row. Last year, heat check was broken. Like, it was crazy. I mean, you could shoot from half court with a 63-pointer and bang that thing in with your eyes closed, you know? So I understand it needing a nerf, right? But once again, for the people that don't understand, they don't think about it, okay? They don't just really sit there and think. Doesn't mean it needs to be nerfed into the ground, okay? 2K never knows how to put something in the middle. They either over nerf or over buff something. They do it every single year. So anyway, to get heat check, you got to make 3 shots in a row. I would love to see a statistic of my shooting percentage with heat check. And the reason why is because I might actually shoot a lower percentage with heat check than without it. Because to get it, you got to make 3 shots in a row. And you guys know with 2K25, the RNG, like making 3 shots in a row doesn't, you know, you're starting to have to count your blessings, okay? Don't count your chickens before they hatch, because you might miss your next shot even if you're wide open, even if you feel like you timed it right. Jump shot boost, in your lethal, off dimer, with heat check, you still might miss that thing. But anyway, Solo said NBA 2K should have a green window animation pop up in the bottom corner after you shoot a shot, just like in MLB, the swing feedback feature. This way we could see how big our green window was each shot and how close we were to the green window. Now, as you guys see this picture down here, you can see, you know, were you able, your swing timing, the placement of the ball. And so I've actually thought about this as well, because in 2K this year we have the simple shot feedback where you can see right away, but you can't see, you know, other people's shots, which that doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like you should be able to see both, right? I want to see if I greened it right away and then, you know, if my opponent shot a contested shot or not, right? So I don't know, that doesn't make sense to me either, but I've thought about this simple. We have all shots, and then how about advanced? You know, so you can see if you greened it right away, you can see your opponent's coverage and all that, but also a graph like 2K Labs shows us with the green window and showing us, did you actually miss the green window? But here's where it gets interesting to think about, because if 2K were to add that, they could possibly do even more gaslighting than they are now. You know, they could manipulate these graphs when they pop up for it to make you go, oh yeah, I actually did miss it, when you feel like you timed it right. You know, it's just like this year with how RNG is, where you know you timed it right and you missed. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. They could. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they should add it. Honestly, I really don't, because you never know with 2K. But anyway, guys, what you should know and what you should easily, very easily know is that there is a video right here on the screen where I was using a legend instrument of buckets build. Yeah, it's crazy. Click it. 18 cat breakers, or your mom is going to stub her toe. Don't let your mom stub her toe. Don't let her do it. Click or tap the video. I'm out of here. Peace.